So in talking to my guide before I called the husband back and told him about what was going on, said that all of them together, all of their collected energy as intuitives, so the entire family had abilities, including the father, which is unusual. All of them together, when they would sit down and watch shows on TV like The Dead Files or a horror movie, all of their focused energy created change. It created things happening with them. So one of the suggestions was that they not do that for a while. They needed to reclaim their space. Their daughter needed a mentor, so we worked with her, trying to help her understand her intuitive ability was not something she needed to be afraid of. It was something she was in control over. And then worked with the living woman to help her figure out her shit. So I sent an email to the husband letting him know all of the things that we found in the house. I started with George and how George was now removed, that I didn't expect him to come back, but that they needed to keep an eye out. I explained that with multiple intuitives in the house like that, whenever they were sitting there watching shows like that, their focused energy when they were watching a show like that was actually opening a door to the other side, bringing more dead in, which I'm sure George was very happy to see. And then George would then convince the dead that they were stuck there. They couldn't go anywhere, and that was where the impasse was. Then I mentioned his wife, and that the PK manifestations, that all of these things together, he felt were actually some evil entity, were partially created by his wife's emotions. I felt like something had been going on over the last 12 years that had caused her to really smush down how she was feeling, because she was an intuitive, a powerful intuitive, who wasn't acknowledging her gift, living in a home with other intuitives who were afraid of their gifts, in the mix of a bunch of dead people and a very organized George, who is the grand marshal of all of this chaos. It had created a situation that was basically the PK manifestation. I was really interested in working with his wife and his daughter to help her understand that there was nothing to be afraid of, and his wife also suggesting therapy. She start to understand how strong she was, that she had control over things in her house and her life. They had paid a lot of people a lot of money over the 2 years that they lived there, had the experiences, to come in and put a stop to what was going on. The ones that they'd brought in were able to maybe cross some of the dead, so they would see a decrease in activity, and then things would ramp back up, because nobody up to that point had figured out that his wife was part of the problem, the energetic problem, that is. So they did the reclaiming of their space. That was a big deal, and doing it with very big energy. Again, I can clear everything out, but it's up to the person living in the home, the family living in the home, to reclaim that space as theirs. So I send them everything they need to be able to do that, the information and the tools, whatever it is that they need to be able to do that. They reclaim that space within 24 hours, and then it becomes regular upkeep that they need to do. So in those situations, they're not going to change the fact that they're intuitive. They're not going to change the fact that they live together. But what they can change is how they keep their space clean around that ability. So in doing that, I stuck with them for about a month. George did not come back to my knowledge. This was a few years ago, and I haven't heard from them since. And all of my clients know that they have an open door. They can let me know if problems are starting up again. We'll revisit. Because of all the intuitives living in the same place, they were going to continue to have problems like that. The potential exists for them to draw in more dead. So keeping their space clear was really, really important. And it appears that they did that. The last time I talked to them, everything was good.